So currently in NBA 2K26, I am sitting here with 5 fully maxed out 99 overall builds, and I did it without spending a single dime on VC. And for those of you who maybe don't already know how much a fully maxed out build costs, it is about 375k VC per build, give or take. You know, some things happen to be a little bit more expensive than others. You guys get the point. It's about 370-ish K. And when you do the full math on all these builds, that is over 1.8 million VC. So how the hell did I grind so much? Well, you see, there are really two main things you get a lot of VC from in this game. The first one being the GOAT skill quests, and the second one being endorsements from my career. And I guess this daily spin right here, you know, sometimes you could get a little bit of something, but y'all are gonna see I maybe get, 2,000, whatever. Not even that, I get an indicator, dope. Now that being said though, out of those two things, which actually gives more VC? Well, it's the endorsement method, which I'm going to show you guys a little bit later in this video, because I want to briefly talk about GOAT skills. I did it in, in a previous video, but GOAT skills do give you a lot of VC. Like these GOAT skills for, a specific skill like dynamic duo, these give you around 9k per completion, which is really, really good. And then these total ones give you about, I want to say it's around 30k from the, the total amount of VC you get, which is also not bad at all. And then the ones that are like GOAT skills, shooting, defense, I don't know if I can find any because I completed them so long ago, but those also give you, I want to say like 20k. So really, really good VC overall, especially considering you can just slap these on and then, grind your build specialization while doing something like open court athletics. These games take like, 3 minutes, maybe even less than that, depending on what you're doing. And you can easily stack up that VC very quick. And that is the method I recommend if you're also trying to get your character, upgraded. Maybe you don't have max badges. Maybe you just got the game, whatever. That is what I would do if you're just trying to grind everything at once. But if you only need VC, we got to talk about these endorsements. Because from the endorsements in my career this year, you gain 1,000 VC, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, 10K, 12.5, and then 15K VC, plus an additional 2,500 from the commercial that you get during the FIBA games, and 25,000 from winning the FIBA games. So if you do the math on that, which I'm not very good at math, I believe that's like 90k just from one character's endorsement tab. My bad, I actually just put it into a calculator. It's about 80k, but you're also gonna get some other VC, from different things along the way. So let's just say, 80 to 90k VC from doing these endorsements, which they're actually very easy to kind of speed run on a new character, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So what you're going to go ahead and do is make a brand new build, preferably this off-screen shooter right here, because making the build like this will give you an 81 3-ball without spending a single dime of VC. That's pretty damn good. But on top of that, we also have a very low dunk. The reason for this is we can easily cap break this to about, a 70 and then cap break the standing dunk as well. So when we cap break that, we can easily dunk the ball and then get ourselves ejected from the game by hanging on the rim twice. That is going to be really helpful for skipping your key games later on. But if you don't have any cap breakers, you can also just foul out of the games. It takes a little bit longer, but both methods work just fine. Now, once you go ahead and make the build, before you go into the out of bounds story, I am going to give you guys, a quick jump shot that I really like on, 6'5" to 6'9" builds, just because it makes everything a little bit easier. Obviously, you're not going to have to shoot too much at the end of the day, but there are going to be some times where, maybe your team's down by a little bit. You don't want to restart the whole game. So that's just going to be, a good way to kind of skip through a little bit faster. So just put on Jonathan Magua base, Baluba upper, put it on, release Q, that's what I like to use, and then max release speed. That'll give you an A+ jump shot. Just pretty good overall. It's just going to make the process a little bit easier. Oh yeah, and like I said, you're not going to need it yet, but you can absolutely cap break your standing dunk right now, so then that way you can, use it to get ejected later. It is just going to help a bit. That being said though, we can get started with the story. Now, the easiest way to get through these games fast is to just continuously foul so they put you onto the bench. You don't want to foul out of the game yet, because that will kind of mess up everything and you won't get past the challenge because you need, a certain teammate grade. But you want to foul just so you can kind of skip ahead, and ideally your team would be up at half or winning by a lot. That's usually what happens. Sometimes it is a close game for whatever reason, so if you have to hit a couple threes, just, do what you have to do, but then just, go straight back to fouling. Now, once they put you in very late in the game, you just want to kind of go a little bit crazy, hit some threes and whatnot, because when I pause the game right here, you guys are going to see my teammate grade compared to Kobe Starks, right? We just need to have the same teammate grade or higher. That way we can get 1 star and it'll count the challenge. And since we're already winning and we have, a higher teammate grade, I'm just going to foul him, and then, we should easily get the win right there. Oh, we only won by 1. Okay, that was, that was a little sketch. But you guys are going to see we end up getting the 1 star just like that, and it really didn't take too long at all. And you can do that for pretty much every single game. Well, I guess besides for this next game, because it is an open run, and you just, you have to put belt to ass on this dude real quick. Just drop your 21 points and get out of there. After you have completed that absolute ass whooping, though, what you are going to want to do is choose one of the little teams that pop up. It doesn't really matter which one. I usually just go with, the high flyers, because they give you, fans at a faster rate, which I guess will help you later on. Like I said, doesn't really matter which one you want to pick. You're going to do the exact same thing regardless. Moving on to these AAU games, you guys are going to do the exact same thing pretty much that we did, during the game versus Kobe Starks. Same thing, right? You win the game, you get, the teammate grade, whatever, and that is going to give you 1 star. The important thing for the AAU game specifically is that you do not get 5+ stars. If you get 5+ stars, you have to play an extra, championship game, which is completely skippable if you don't, do extremely good, which is what we're going for. We don't want 5+ stars. So just make sure you don't lose track of things and just go nuclear for no reason. Just make sure you're getting your 1 star and get out of there. Now, once again, I'm not going to fully go through all of these AAU games. I'm just going to foul out and kind of show you guys, the method once again, pretty much the exact same thing we just did. But, get your 2 fouls. They're going to sub you out until halftime, and then hopefully you're winning. All right, so we're up 61-45. If you're not winning, just go ahead and hit rematch. It's fine. It's going to be the same thing. It doesn't really matter. But once again, I'm just going to foul their point guard. They're going to take me out. And somehow we actually went down by 5 points. So what I'm going to do here at the end of the game, since I'm at a D+ anyway, and, we need to get to a C teammate grade, I'm just going to, play the rest out of it a little bit, shoot some threes, hit those, just to guarantee that we win. Obviously, like I said, if you don't want to play a single ounce of basketball, you can just rematch until you're smoking them. It's going to happen. I mean, it's just my career. These games are on like rookie or whatever. So let me just shoot a couple more threes and then I'll get back to y'all. Now that we are up to a V+ though, I'm just going to, foul out for the rest of the game. They're going to take me out. Hopefully we win. Obviously, if when you guys are doing that, make sure you have more than a 5-point lead, because sometimes the game absolutely cheeses and you'll see like they come back. Luckily that didn't happen right there, but you guys will see we easily get 1 star from that game, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Now that being said, I hopped on my other build to show this because I don't want to play through the whole story again right now while I'm recording this. But after you get done with the AAU games, you guys are going to want to make sure you choose Paris FC Basket when you go overseas. Do not choose, Basket Spain or whatever the other one is called. I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But the reason for Paris FC Basket is all of these goals you guys are going to notice require you to just outperform the other person in teammate grade rather than winning the game. Winning the game is actually a part of the second goal. The reason that is better is because it is just way faster. It's way easier to outperform somebody in teammate grade. The AIs never really pass like a C, and that's all you have to get. So just foul towards the end of the game and then shoot like a 3 or 2, and you're literally good. You're going to get the 1 star just like that. The only game you actually have to win is this last one because it's the championship. It's very easy. And just for reference, to show that I know what I'm talking about, I chose, Basket Madrid on one of my other players, and you guys are going to see right here, you have to win every single one of these games, which, don't get me wrong, is it hard? Not necessarily, but you guys are going to notice a lot of the time when you're fouling out and stuff, especially in these later games, it gets very annoying and the AI is cheesing. Like, you'll be up at like 15, you'll foul, and then somehow the AI scored 20 points in 2 minutes. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And just for the sake of the video, I know I already explained it, but I will just quickly show me in one of these games, just show y'all it takes like 3 minutes. Once again, you guys are just going to pick up your 2 fouls. They're going to sub you out to halftime, and then you just take it from there. Obviously, if your team is out inbounding the ball, just shoot a 3, whatever. Just keep in mind, these games are actually on pro, so you have to be a little bit less of a drone with your shots. Not that pro is hard or anything like that. It's still really goddamn easy. But just keep in mind, you might not be able to pull over the AIs like it's on rookie, because sometimes they will get a little bit of a contest. So, yeah, just keep that in mind if you guys are noticing some weird things happening. But either way, you guys are going to see 3 minutes left. I'm going to pause the game. Currently, the AI has a C teammate grade throughout the entire match, and we have a C-. So all I have to do is really just hit a couple threes, get a couple points. That's all. Shoot another 3, bang, and then I'm going to pause. You're going to see we have a C+ grade. Even if we foul out, that'll only drop us to a C. Maybe a little bit risky. Maybe get up, you know, in grade by like 2. Get like a B- if he has a C, just to be safe in case something happens. You guys are going to see we foul out. And then just like that, you know, we're going to have to watch this stupid cutscene. Skip this reporter's questions. It doesn't really matter. I guess you can get your fans, whatever. Who cares? Stop asking me questions. Blah, blah, blah. We do not care. As promised, though, there's your 1 star. You might even get 2 if you do win the game. But then again, just keep in mind, the win doesn't matter. Returning back to my 60 overall, though, just imagine I completed the story in this case scenario, because I'm going to show you guys all the other steps on my characters where I have already done it. When you complete Out of Bounds, you will notice you don't yet have the Endorsements tab. That is because you simply have to get drafted first and then play your debut game. Once you go ahead and get drafted, just go to your agent, select your, you know, game goals. Doesn't really matter what you pick. I usually just pick Road Dogs because it's easy, but we're going to click on that. Skip this little cutscene where your player sounded like Michael Jackson. I don't know why they gave him that little kind of a sus voice. All right, I'm not going to comment on it any further, so I don't, you know, get anybody in the comments hating or anything like that. But once you do that, just, you know, teleport to the arena, play your debut. Oh yeah, and make sure you go ahead and switch your settings back to rookie, because it will automatically put it on pro from, you know, the games. And it's going to be harder to dunk and get yourself ejected if it is on pro. Now for this first game specifically, you are going to want to get yourself ejected, but not before you get a little bit of a decent teammate grade. It doesn't really matter, but you do need to outperform the starter twice to, you know, become a starter, which, like I said, does it matter for the grand scheme of things? Not really, but it is just, you know, better to be a starter than be on the bench. So I'm just going to hit my second 3 right there, and then after that, I'm just going to go for dunks and hang on the rim. You're going to see we leak out right here. We're going to dunk, hold arc seat, hang on the rim. You don't got to do anything. You don't even have to make the dunk. You could literally miss it, but you just want to make sure you get that technical foul, and then they're going to shoot the free throw. Doesn't really matter. The reason you foul out this way instead of just fouling and fouling is because when you foul, you have to watch the halftime cutscene, and it takes longer because they're, you know, taking you out of the game, putting you back in, this and that. It is just a very, very annoying process. Now, like I said, though, if you don't have cap breakers, that is going to be what you have to do. Also, I'm just trying to get in position for a standing dunk. Unfortunately, Zion is being really fat right there. Right there, we get the second dunk. Like I said, don't have cap breakers. You will have to foul. It's going to take longer, but it's not the end of the world, right? Right there, they eject me from the game. We still are going to end up with, I believe, a C+ teammate grade, so we're going to beat out KCP anyway for the starting position. Not that it's hard or necessary or anything like that. It just does help down the road. As you're going to see, though, after that first game, Austin Kelly is going to text you about endorsements, and you're just going to head over to the My Court. Now, when you go ahead and talk to your agent, you're going to get these goals right here, which, as you guys can see, you need to, you know, complete Out of Bounds, the MP story, which that's why we did it in the first place. Play 2 open runs, which is not hard. And then you are going to need a bunch of fans, which it seems at first like, oh man, that's where this method ends. We don't have any fans. Like, how are we going to get that many fans when we only have 390K? Like, this is kind of cooked. Well, the solution for that, since you do need a good amount of fans to get through all these endorsement goals, is to just sim on over to your next game. And then this is the only game you really want to go crazy in, all right? Like, I'm talking, you want to be on your Wilt Chamberlain shit, just drop like 100 points in this game so you gain a shit ton of fans, and then they ask you questions after the game, which will make it so you easily complete the fan goal for every single match. Now, I am not going to show me doing that on that player because it's just very boring to watch and nobody needs to see that. But what I am going to do is talk about how to finish all of these goals as fast as humanly possible. So we already typed out the first one: regain fans, play open runs, complete Out of Bounds, yada yada, doesn't matter, right? The second goal, you are going to need to score 100 points and get 2 double-doubles. You can do that in 2 games. You could even get a double-double and then foul out immediately, or just dunk and get ejected. It doesn't really matter. It's a pretty easy process. That goal is honestly probably one of the worst ones. I know it sounds weird because it doesn't sound bad at all. But after that, you guys are going to earn player of the game. Fun fact with this goal, you can actually simulate the games. Now, your team is going to have to win, but if your team wins, it's kind of a given you're going to get player of the game. You can simulate through those games to get this goal done. So don't go out there and try to like, man, I need to go hard, I need to get player of the game. You don't have to go crazy in those games. Just simulate them and you will get this goal done. Now for this one right here, score 20 points in a single game. You just have to drop 20 in 2 games. So what you do, drop 20 points, dunk twice, get ejected. That's all you have to do, and then you have your 7.5K. After that, you guys are going to get this goal right here, where you're going to have to complete, gain fans, and then just score 25, get 12 boards, score 25, get 12 dimes. You only have to do one of those one time. So what I just did, 25, 12 assists, pretty easy. That's going to give you 10K. And then right here is going to be your passion project. Some of you guys might be like, what the hell is your passion project? The passion project is a quest with a bunch of different steps that'll pop up periodically throughout your My career. And basically how you get this done in, a timely manner and, the best way possible is to just do it in between your games. Like, let's say after you complete your first endorsement goal, it'll pop up like introduction, club league scouting director, where you have to play with Kobe Starks. Then you're going to have to play with Cade Cunningham. Then eventually, Tyrese Maxey. It's not hard. These just kind of pop up after your key games. So whether you play through it or you just dunk and you eject it, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're doing these passion projects quests kind of as you go with the endorsements. That way you don't have to catch up on it later, and it's kind of the best way to get it done overall. That being said, once you do complete your passion project, this last quest is going to be FIBA related. It gives you 15k VC, and it is going to require you to win 3 FIBA games. What you're going to want to do is, after the first season, you don't have to do anything in the off season. I would play the little FIBA scrimmage just so you can recruit teammates, make your team a little bit better. Doesn't matter, right? After the second season, which by the way, you're not going to have any goals to worry about, so just dunk every game, get ejected, get through those key games as fast as possible. When you get to the second off season, you are going to want to skip the first 2 FIBA games in that little like mini tournament. Skip those first 2 games and then play through the last 3. Do not simulate them, because otherwise, you may lose the 25k VC prize as well as the 15k. Don't risk it, all right? Don't risk it whatsoever. But play through those FIBA games, right? And then you're going to get this objective done. You're going to get the 25k VC. And then there's going to be another little side mission that gives you 2,500 VC for a commercial. And just like that, you have knocked out all of the endorsements on that low overall character. And you're looking at, an extra 80, 90,000 VC in just, a couple of hours. Now, that being said, though, that is pretty much going to be the entire VC method for today's video. If you guys, stack up on your GOAT skills and your endorsements, you are going to be making a lot of VC very quick, and you will have a bunch of 99 overalls in no time at all. I hope you guys did find this useful, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment letting me know what you thoughts. It's been Gravely. Peace.